Hello and welcome to Branters. And today we're in conversation with Mr. Ankush and Mr. Gaurav of TBO Tek.com. Just congratulations for
Thank you
the
so much.
interview and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Ankush, what is the brand story of TBO Tek?
So I come from the travel background. In my family used to be there, but I started a company called Travel Boutique in 2000 when I came back after my graduation. Ran a B2B offline travel company called Travel Boutique, which at that time till 2005 was only operating in north of India and some parts in east. In 2005 is when the internet was coming in a very aggressive way in the travel business. Companies like Make My Trip, Yatra were coming very strongly. And so tech was either an opportunity or threat. Fortunately became an opportunity. I met Gaurav through a common friend. So the travel boutique became TBO or Travel Boutique Online when Gaurav and I met. And how tech came, let Gaurav talk about it.
Sure, let's hear it from you.
Okay, so I studied computer science at IIT Delhi. Then I was working in Microsoft in US for a few years. Wanted to come back to India, become an entrepreneur. So mid 2000s, I came back to India. Very early days of internet, you would remember. So the broad thesis was that as e-commerce comes up, travel would be the first thing that'll go online because it doesn't require logistics or warehousing or any of that, which takes time to build. So I wanted to do an online travel startup. That is how I met Ankush. At that time, I was running a software services company called Tek Ltd. So the TEK of TBO Tek comes from there.
Okay, wonderful. So, Ankush, what is the uniqueness of the platform?
I think the tech, what we have built, I think is by far a uniqueness. And if you do your channel checks, I think the whole market will echo this. That when it comes to the tech, I think that's one of the big USPs. Second, I think we have only ventured into the B2B space, so that really kind of helps the travel buyers in specific. That we are not competing with them. As a matter of fact, we're complementing them. And I think globally, if you look around, very few companies which are actually only focusing on the travel agents and tour operators. But in India, I can assure you, we are the only one, which is looking at the B2B space. I think so. These two, and also comforts the supplier because we're not undercutting the hotels or the airlines, and the travel agents feel very comfortable working with it. And on top of that, the tech stack, which I just mentioned to you.
So, travel is a global phenomenon. So, can you share some growth numbers and your strategies and your key strengths?
Sure. So look, outbound travel has been growing at a very fast clip. Globally, like I talked about it earlier, 2019, 1.5 billion outbound trips happened. This number grows by 6-7% every year. So just think about it. That's 100 million more people traveling overseas every year. So just see how large that space is. In terms of travel spend, it is little less than $2 trillion of global travel spend have happened on outbound travel, right? So it's just an extremely large industry. And we will ride with that growth, right? In terms of our size vis-a-vis the overall industry, we are still very small. So I think the headroom for growth is very large.
Excellent. So what's the object of the IPO?
The offering, the money we're raising. So I think to answer in three parts. One, obviously, keep innovating and keep investing into technology because that one creates a moat. Second, it helps our buyers to further search and book with us more and more. Second would be increase our agent base across the world. I think that's something which we are good at in markets like India and Middle East. We'll continue to build our wallet share in these markets with our travel operators, and obviously keep adding more in countries like Latin America, Europe, and America. And third is acquisitions. I think that's something which is a strong team for us. We acquired four companies in the last 5 years, and I'm sure we'll be scouting for some good opportunities in India and overseas.
Which were these?
So one was, to begin, was Island Hopper. It was a smallish one, which was basically buying supply for hotels in Maldives. Then we bought Gemini, which used to be another company in Bangalore, which was also serving the Maldivian market. Then we ventured out for the first time in a company called Bookabet, which was basically buying travel agent network in Ireland, selling outbound. And then last was just 6 months back, Jumbo Online, based out of Palma in Spain, where we also get the buyer network as well as supply, especially in southern parts of the Spanish coast.
So you spoke about the global network effect, the flywheel. Can you elaborate on that?
And look, so one of the questions comes at why does any platform business grow at such a fast clip? And the reason is really that as you add more buyers on the platform, which is travel agents in our case, you become more relevant for the existing suppliers, right? So you add more travel agents, the existing hotels get more business from you, right? So you become more valuable for them. And the reverse also happens. As you add more hotels on the platform, you become more relevant for the existing travel agents because they start buying these new hotels as well. So what that does is that, our overall transaction base or our revenue grows faster than our buyer base or our supplier base, right? And that's how we think of the business, that the leverage comes from the fact that you add a little bit more buyers, your transactions will grow much faster. So that is the network effect that it's quite demonstrated in our business.
Okay, and your final words for the startups in the space.
So I think we've been a very atypical startup. We are a tech startup, remained under the radar for the longest period of time, raised a very limited amount of money from very selected investors, or built it profitably over the years. I think our only message is it can be done, right? Sometimes there is a view that unless you raise a lot of money, you burn a lot of money, you can't build a tech business.
Right.
I think our business model does prove that it is possible to still build a business without raising a lot of money, continue to grow at a high pace, but still continue to grow your profits as well.
I think my 2 cents would be frugal and value the capital, what you have raised.
Sure.
I think, and have the right talent.
Right.
Which I think a lot of young people just feel, burning cash is going to get business. I don't think it works. Gaurav and I have made sure for the last 19 years of running TBO, we always made profits every year except the COVID year. For obvious reasons, we lost money there. I think that's the key mantra, and I think build something where you're your core competency. I think that's something where I think people lose focus by ye bhi kar lete hain. Sorry, that we should do this, we should do that, but I think pick up what you're good at, and I think B2B was our mantra where I think we started very well, and that's something we'll continue to build, and not defocus into other segments.
Thank you so much. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you,
And
Sonia.
wish you many more
Thank you so
wondrous
much.
smiles and
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.